Hello, welcome. Today I am going to make an updated video for one on a V-brake video that I've done previously. This is the Xt M737, and on my previous video I'd actually made a mistake. I'd made a video for the M737 and it was actually the M739. There's actually no real difference between the two other than these linkage arms. One's hollowed out, and I mean, it's like they did that on purpose, so you can actually see right there's grooves inside that linkage arm, as if they were preparing to do that at one point. And then they could at least say, yeah, look, we've updated it. Anyway, I'm going to make a video separately on each one, just to add to the library. So let's begin on the M737. Okay, so on both sides we're going to have these covers, which we're going to eventually need to put back on with some glue. So grab a knife and gently, to try and avoid bending them, take off the covers. You can make those, by the way, just using some tin can or something, and it somewhat works. Now, next part is we're going to undo that small bolt that's right here. So this will be a number 2. I do advise a fairly precise Allen key for this. I'm using Swiss tools, but there are other ones. And the reason for that is I remember previously, and the first time, I think the reason why I bought these, in fact, was because my junior ones were rounding the small little bolts. Okay, so we're taking that out. You're going to need to push that pin through. Now I've just taken a screwdriver and it seems to be coming out. If yours is stuck for whatever reason, then you can use I used a screw bit I think last time, and a pair of pliers, and you can push that through, or even a vise, whichever one's easier. We can now remove this. In a previous video I had made some spaces in between here to try and resolve the issue of the play, which is caused, I'm guessing, by through usage. It grinds down eventually the metal, and then you have a kind of forms of spacing in between, and then this kind of moves about. So what I did in a previous video is I'd made some circles with a hole through it, spacer, that fits on both sides here, using a tin can, and you just grind it down until it's fit enough to fit into this space. Alternatively, you probably could use some, and probably a better way would be to get some extremely thin spacers made out of copper. Well, I think is it copper? Yeah, copper. And then that'll probably cause less friction as well. It might be better. Anyway, whichever way you go. Now behind here, you can actually remove this part. So let's do that. So grab a knife or something that's going to be flat enough to gently lift up this front part here, and this will disengage from the teeth. The reason you'd want to actually do this is because, well, eventually there's dirt that accumulates in between these, and then after it's not as smooth anymore, or even rust. So now we should be able to take that out. Now, I just missed out on the video, but essentially it's again some teeth that are going into here, and you need to just gently nudge it out, trying to avoid as much damaging as possible, because when you're going to push this back in, you kind of want them to see into those teeth so that everything holds. And here there's a spacer with some teeth. We've got that spring. And finally we've got to the part that attaches to the cantilever boss, what's it called again, mount. There's a screw here, I'm not going to bother taking that out. So give all that stuff a clean, and then we'll put it back together again. It's fairly simple though. Right, I've given all the parts a clean, and now we can start to put it back together again. Let's begin with this part, the kind of barrel of the teeth. Grab that. Now if I remember, there was this plate, so we're going to put that plate between its teeth. Okay, so take this part here with those teeth, and that little tab that's sticking out, that's used for the adjustment of the spring. You pop that in. Take the spring, and the tip of that spring is going to go into the hole that's right here. Pop that on, and hold that with your finger. Now take the other part that we took off previously with the barrel, and we're going to now put this, insert it essentially, back in. We're going to find out how hard that is. So put there. You're going to obviously need to aim for the teeth. I think I've got it. Now I would say to use either a vice and gently push in, or a plier. I think I'm going to use the plier. Now before you do this, make sure that the teeth are firmly in the right position. You don't want to damage anything before you press down. Mine look like they are, so I'm going to just start gently pushing down. I can feel them inserting. I'm actually moving it in different positions until we get it to be inside. I think that's good. Okay, yeah, it's good. I needed to push it a tiny little bit more down. Now remember, when you're going to actually put these back on your bike, you can use the mounting bolt to fully press everything in. I think I've got one loose, so I could do that as well. So insert that back into place. On the other side, we're going to put the linkage arm and do the same thing, same procedure. So we're going to put the linkage arm in this position. Now make sure that you put the teeth in the correct place. All I can say is that I've put the spring right in front of that stopper there, and I've more or less got it in this type of angle, so you can see that front part's right there. It's a bit hard to kind of get it to go there, because you'll see it won't really fit. You'll notice that this is going to be way too downwards. So good like this, and now we can push that down as well. Yeah, okay. Put that back up there. And now we can put that pin through. Now there was a kind of a, I'll look at the other one. For the pin, there's like a kind of a slit running through the middle, and you want that to be in the middle right there where you're going to put that bolt in. Grab these small bolts. Now on here, you want to put a tiny little bit of thread locker on there. Now you don't super need some if you don't have any, but it's in preference. You have to be very careful, because I want to just put a tiny amount there. And tighten that. I reckon as well as on the sides, I'm sure there's some play here on that pin, just through movement all the time. But I mean, I don't see what you could do with that really. I guess you could just make another pin yourself. Wouldn't be too difficult, I guess. cut one and then make a kind of a groove inside it so that this kind of sits nice in position. It's something to think about one day. Now for those dust caps, we're going to glue them back on. I think I previously glued these, I can't even tell. I'm going to use some super glue, and you want to kind of really be very precise and get them just on the edges and not to go on that pin, because obviously the pin, you don't want that to be glued down. So do that very carefully. I'm not an expert on glue, so I think you probably use even that gel type of glue. I'm going to use the other one there, that's instant. I'm going to try and be as careful as I can. I think that's even too much what I've just done. Oh well. Let's get that on. Right, well, I hope this helped you service your Xt M737. Thank you for listening, and until next time, peace out.